Michael Irvin, the playmaker, is with us now. Michael, how should Aaron Rodgers take this criticism?
I've been singing this song all year. Aaron Rodgers didn't want to hear it. When I was singing it, I don't think he's going to want to hear it when this guy is singing it, but he should take it to heart. But the hardest thing for these kinds of players that have not listened to anybody their whole careers and gone on to accomplish great things, their greatest asset was, I didn't listen to people. I just kept going. But now your greatest asset becomes your greatest liability because he should listen. He is not the same. Aaron Rodgers, and I've been telling you guys this all year, hadn't thrown for 300 yards since 1-2-1-2-2-1. That's 12, 12, 20, 21. And the last time he did it, it was against 12, 12, 20, 21.
No, I'm just saying it's a long. I'm just saying it's a long time. I'm thinking in my mind. I'm just like, man, it's a long time.
That's a long time. And it was against the Chicago Bears, that team that he owns. That team that he owns.
Right.
And since he owned that team, he has been owning nothing else since then. And you talked about, listen, let me tell you why. What I thought, even coming off of an Achilles, we all know what an Achilles do, but we've seen Cam Akers come back from that serious injury, and a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, he's not a technically sound quarterback, not Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Hit that back step, let the ball go. I've seen him throw the ball off so many different planes and so many different ways. I watched it personally against the Dallas Cowboys, the great plays he's made. So I didn't think that it would affect him this much, but it is. He is not the same Aaron Rodgers, and you can see it. And now he's even missing reads, Keyshawn. It's not just missing throws. I think he's starting to throw the ball to the wrong place, and that's really crazy for his experience.
Like Gotcha said, I gotcha. That's just Joy, Paul, he's telling the truth. He's older. He's not the same quarterback. There's no question about it. I thought time off, healing, and all of the different things, he would certainly come back and be fine. That his arm isn't going to be weak. It'll be stronger because he hadn't used it much. He hadn't done some things. But when you look at him out on the field, you can certainly tell. You can, like, literally tell this dude is old now. Like, he's one of those quarterbacks that you saw all the great days, and then when it comes to the end, you sit there and go, that's why I said the other day, I said, man, it might be time to just say, you know what? I've done enough. I'm done. I'm just done.
You can't quit.
No, not quit. Just ride off into the sunset. Because they're getting ready to blow it up. They're going to blow it up.
After the season?
Yeah, after the season.
Oh.
They're going to blow it up. They're going to blow it up.
This is his last year.
Yeah, it should be. Now, whether or not it will be, it should be because he's not giving you what you thought you were going to get when you signed him 2 years ago.
Y'all don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to let y'all win like this, do you? You know,
no, I'm not going to win.
Ultimately, well, the woke crowd, you don't think that he's going to let them win. Like
the woke crowd?
You know, like the crowd he's always talking about that always.
I don't know what in the hell woke means, so I don't know.
Okay, don't get her started.
I hear you.
Don't get her started. She gonna give you the hands, and she get ready to give you all this in a minute. And she gonna give you that, and she just don't get her. Hey, don't get her going.
I'm just saying, Aaron is not going to just walk away.
I don't think it's up to him. Like, he can come back and try and prove everybody wrong, but that's what this was supposed to be about in the first place.
Look,
I'm tone deaf myself, Michael. I'm not, the voice isn't really great, but I've been singing that song also. There's many clips of me saying that he hasn't thrown for 300 yards in such a long time. He didn't the entire final season that he had in Green Bay, which was multiple years ago. And so the idea that he was just going to waltz over to the New York Jets, a team that hasn't been to the playoffs since 2010, and just come in and transform the entire organization into this winning organization with his leadership prowess and this coaching staff that hadn't been doing anything, and rearrange the entire roster to his liking. And then somehow they were just going to turn this corner, and no one else in the league was going to be able to stop them, by the way. They're not going to show up.
I thought he would. Because think about it, though. Joy, prior to him in the Achilles injury, that year with Zach Wilson and Mike White or whoever was all the quarterbacks that they had, they was 2 games away from being 10-game winner and getting into the playoffs. So when you add Aaron Rodgers, despite what he did in Green Bay, he was good for 2 wins. He would just be thinking he was good for 2 wins. And then all of a sudden he gets hurt, and it just doesn't it doesn't look the same. What it looks like to me is he has 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's already retired. He just hasn't announced it yet.
But he's also, even if you thought that was possible, him coming in healthy, which I did not, because I don't view Aaron Rodgers as somebody who is a culture changer. He is a great player, but as somebody who can come in and galvanize a locker room and stabilize an organization.
Bing.
That's not the guy for that job. But 2 wins. Sure.
I figured he was good for that.
But after he tears his Achilles and he's 40 years old and he's going to be 41 in a month, it's not shocking to me that he doesn't look the same. And I actually don't even think that that's an accusatory statement. Why would you look the same?
Right. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Of course I'm not wrong. I know I'm always right.
But no, if you added Aaron Rodgers to what they were doing, he could win those 2 games.
That's what I would think.
But you didn't add Aaron Rodgers to what you were doing. You let Aaron Rodgers come in and take over and do it his way. And out of all the quarterbacks that have shifted one place to another, if we sit down and organize them on ability of leadership, Aaron's probably going to be last.
But also, Michael, not just that, because all that is right. The leadership that existed in the building is different as well. When you look at Tom Brady, who is considered to be one of the best leaders in the history of the sport, on top of one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player, he was going to a Bucs team that was 7-9 the year before he got there, to Bruce Arians, who was a good, solid head coach, who had all kinds of talents, Vita Vea, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Devin White, Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, and Ndamukong Suh, already there. Not to mention the players that he brought that were some of already Hall of Famers that he brought there. The coaching staff was great. That's what already existed for the Bucs when Tom Brady went there. And then you're talking about Matthew Stafford with the Rams. Sean McVay was in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was in a Super Bowl. He had all kinds of talent around him. They were going to stable organizations with coaches that had cultures, that had respect of the locker room, that had momentum. That's not what the Jets were.
Right. Peyton Manning went to Denver. John Elway, all of those guys were there, setting those leadership, helping in a situation. But over there in New York, Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Rogers did it his way. It's a lonely day in the neighborhood.
This is a tough pill to swallow. Because
it is a lonely day in the neighborhood.
I don't look at that as criticism. I mean, when you start hearing things of this nature from your peers, I think reality has to start settling in. Rodgers, his legacy, you don't want this to be the last thing you remember of him because, I mean, yeah, he'll end the season. This won't be a great year. Jets won't make the playoffs again, but that still doesn't say anything about what he's accomplished.
No.
So I don't want this to come back next year. Like, I really believe that.
I don't think they want it to come back next year.
I don't like just to save face, and I hope he realizes that, like, look, he's not what he used to be. The rumblings, you're hearing it from us, you're hearing it from your peers. You know, we're just, it's not hate, it's what we see, the eyes. This is what the eye in the sky don't lie. And so he's had a great career, one of the best to ever do it. You know, it was great optimism at the beginning of the season.
I swear I had optimism. I was like, they gonna be all right.
Yeah, but I really believe this should be it for Aaron Rodgers.
I'm absolutely not surprised. I'm not surprised that it's a dumpster fire organizationally, and I'm not surprised that he doesn't look the same.
Yeah, the organization.
What would have been surprising to me is that he looked like he looked years ago. He's 40 years old and had an Achilles. When did an Achilles injury become a little thumb thing? Like it's a little.
It's been that way for a couple years now.
Well, they
clearly
have
not.
And then you look at Cam Akers in the first team.
You have outlier situations for everything.
I know, but that's what everybody's looking at. They're looking at the outliers.
Achilles is like the worst. You don't even want to say it. Like you don't want to say the word. It is such a hard thing to come.
It's a 40-year-old injury too. As soon as you hit 40, it seems like it just happens. And moving around after Achilles it's just different.
And I think when you talk about him missing things though, in reads,
that's the issue.
That's a lot that's going on in his mind. A lot of different things that's happening with him that he's missing that because no way you're a 4-time MVP and you're in the same system that you've been in your whole career. Same system.
Right.
To be missing reads.
Let me speak to you. Because what I saw.
One question.
Go ahead.
Like when y'all was in y'all last year and you knew.
You knew.
Did you know?
I knew I was slow. I knew I was not the same guy that I was my first year.
Did you know you were done after this year, after that year?
Oh, yeah, I was, yeah.
Did you, like, I knew my last year, so think about your mindset.
I could have.
Like, think about your mindset that last year. That's what I'm seeing from Rodgers, because I think about my mindset when I knew it was my last year playing football. It was just like, all right, I'm going to show up to work. Whatever happens, happens. I'm ready. I'm thinking about, where I want to travel the rest of my life, what I want to do after I'm done playing sports.
Clearly, he's always thinking about traveling.
It just feels like this is, business. I feel like that's what he's thinking.
But see, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to give you guys that. Aaron Rodgers is going to fight this to the end, and I think we're going to see
let him fight it,
more
though,
back.
Coach.
Trust me, somebody will give him a job.
Your mind gonna tell you one thing, but your body
So
tell you
you
something.
think he will play another year in the league?
Oh, I absolutely think Aaron Rodgers will play another year. Aaron Rodgers is not letting you guys win. As a coach, when I was talking about missing those reads, right? When I was talking about in the meeting how he misses reads. And I know he sees them, Key. I know he sees them. But now, when I watch this play, it's a little dump off. You can go get 5 or 6, 7 yards out of the backfield or something. But Aaron he's looking upfield. So now he's trying to go for more yards instead of playing the game because he goes the dump off and then he throws an interception up the field.
Because he hasn't realized that he's not Aaron Rodgers of 6, 7 years ago.
And he has realized since 12-2-1, he hasn't thrown for 300 yards. And I'm telling you, that's laying in his head. And I just don't think he's going to walk away.
It's probably playing with his mind a little bit to the degree that he's missing reads and things of that nature. But
like, that's tantamount to us not going. You've been playing for 2 years. 3 years, you ain't got 100 yards. Joker, it's time to leave. You ain't had a 100-yard game in 3 years.
It's
time to leave.
I understand
well, I mean,
you don't hit 20 points in 3 years, and you used to do this regularly, Paul. It's time to leave.
It was time for me to leave when I couldn't get up and down that court.
You can tell. You see that dude, he runs right by you. Say,
you know what? I'm letting this garbage dude go by me every time. You know what? It's time to get out of here.
Well, you know what? It's a good thing no one lost their job over it. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.